Hello everyone. Welcome to Daily English Practice. Learn English through stories. Once upon a time, in a small town, there lived a cap seller named Raju. He was a hard-working man who made his living by selling colorful caps in villages and towns nearby. Every morning, he packed his bag with caps of different colors, red, blue, green, and yellow, and set off on his journey. One day, as he walked through a dense forest to reach another village, the sun blazed overhead. The heat made him tired, and after walking for hours, he decided to rest under the cool shade of a large banyan tree. He placed his bag full of caps beside him and stretched his arms. The gentle breeze and chirping birds soon made him drowsy, and before he knew it, he fell into a deep sleep. Unbeknownst to him, a group of mischievous monkeys lived on the branches of the banyan tree. They were playful creatures who always looked for something fun to do. As soon as they noticed the cap seller sleeping peacefully, they climbed down quietly and curiously peeked into his bag. Their eyes sparkled with excitement when they saw the colorful caps inside. One by one, the monkeys grabbed the caps and wore them on their heads. Some chose red, while others picked green and blue. They jumped around with joy, giggling and chattering loudly. The noise eventually woke Raju up. He rubbed his eyes and looked around, only to find that his bag was empty. Shocked, he glanced up at the tree and was astonished to see the monkeys wearing his caps. They sat on the branches, imitating his expressions and movements. Some scratched their heads, while others waved at him. "Oh no!" Raju exclaimed. "What should I do now? If I lose these caps, I will have nothing to sell and no money to take home." He thought for a moment and tried to climb the tree, but the monkeys were faster. They quickly jumped higher, making it impossible for him to reach them. He then picked up a stick and waved it at them, but instead of getting scared, the monkeys did the same. They imitated everything he did, making him even more frustrated. Feeling helpless, Raju sat down and scratched his head. To his surprise, the monkeys did the same. That's when an idea struck him. He removed the cap from his head and threw it on the ground. As expected, the monkeys copied him and threw their caps down as well. Without wasting a second, Raju quickly collected all the caps, stuffed them back into his bag, and hurried away before the monkeys could change their minds. As he walked towards the village, he chuckled and said to himself, "Cleverness and patience always win in difficult situations." Years later, many years passed, and Raju grew old. He handed over his cap-selling business to his son, Ravi. Like his father, Ravi also traveled from village to village, selling colorful caps. One day, Ravi had to cross the same forest where his father once had the encounter with the mischievous monkeys. It was a hot day, and he decided to rest under the very same banyan tree. He placed his bag beside him and fell asleep. Once again, the playful monkeys spotted the bag of caps and couldn't resist their temptation. They climbed down, grabbed the caps, and wore them just like before. When Ravi woke up and saw the monkeys with his caps, he remembered his father's story. A smile appeared on his face. "I know exactly what to do," he said confidently. He stood up, removed his cap, and threw it on the ground, expecting the monkeys to do the same. But to his surprise, the monkeys didn't throw their caps down. Instead, one of the monkeys climbed down, picked up Ravi's cap, put it on his head, and cheekily said, "Do you think you are the only one with a smart father?" Ravi's mouth fell open in shock. He realized that just as he had learned from his father, the monkeys had also learned from their ancestors. Now, Ravi had to think of another way to get his caps back. He looked around and noticed a mango tree nearby. He quickly ran to it, picked up a few ripe mangoes, and started throwing them towards the monkeys. The monkeys, being greedy and playful, couldn't resist the juicy mangoes. They threw the caps down and grabbed the mangoes instead. Ravi quickly collected all the caps, put them back in his bag and laughed. Well, sometimes old tricks don't work, but a new idea can save the day. With that, he continued on his journey, grateful for both his father's wisdom and his own quick thinking. Subscribe to the channel for more stories.